Hey guys, it's Gilberto here, and today is going to be a bit of a different video because I actually want to show you where you should move once you start making money online. And so you might be wondering, well, why are you making this video? And of course, the main purpose of this channel is to help you out making money online by becoming a media buyer, because I still think it's the best and the fastest way possible in 2025 to start your online business and go from 0 to 5, 10K per month. But it also comes to a point where now you're making money online, you have the freedom to move wherever you want, so where should you move? And that's why I come up with this chart based on my personal experience, because if you guys don't know, I'm 25 years old. I'm actually going to be 26 next week. But I have been in 26 countries and I live in about 10 of them or something like that. And I've been traveling for the past 3 years and a half, now 4 years, something like that. So I'm quite familiar with countries and different culture and stuff like that. And so today I actually want to rank them, right? I want to rank from S to E tier the countries that you should be in, or at least you should be considering moving into if you start making money online. And now I'm also gonna allocate a specific budget per country, right? So everything is gonna be very, very well considered. I'm not just gonna randomly just drop a country because I like it, but it's actually gonna be based on, you know, your income, your goal in life, whether it's to make more money, it's to be more chill, what you want to do, right? So this being said, let's get started with the chart. So number one, I have to start obviously with my friend Western Europe. Western Europe nowadays is an absolutely shithole if you ask me. So I'm from Italy, that's where I'm from. And as you can see, Western Europe I consider essentially the Old West, right? So you have the Scandinavia areas, we got Germany, Italy, Austria, France, Spain, UK. Now, given the current situation that the West world is going in, I would consider Western Europe in the E tier, like straight on, with a few exceptions though. Meaning that if maybe you're living in Portugal or Spain, I would consider D tier, just because they're not doing as bad as England or France. Those countries are absolutely cooked. Like, I don't see any reason why you should go live there unless if you hate yourself. If you hate yourself and you want to pay 50% taxes and you want to get stabbed while you walk in the tree in the morning, then yes, this is a perfect place. Pick France, pick UK, pick Germany. If you're trying to have a little bit better life, but you still want to live in a quote-unquote sophisticated country or like first world country, then I would probably say Spain and Portugal. Even Italy to some extent are probably your best option. But everything else that you see right here, absolutely don't go, especially France, just don't, all right? France, UK, especially avoid it. Second to that, we got Thailand. So Thailand was actually the first country that I've been moving when I started making a good money online. And I lived in Thailand for over 1 year, right? Actually, at this point, I don't live there anymore, but I lived in Thailand for 1 year. And Thailand is one of those places that really changed me as a person. The amount of freedom that I experienced once I was in Thailand was beyond any possible level of imagination for like a 23, 24 years old that I was. And the great thing about Thailand is that you don't need a lot of money to actually live a comfortable lifestyle. I will say that if you make at least $2,000 per month profit, you can live a very nice lifestyle in Thailand. Now, you don't need to make $2,000 per month. You can literally go as low as $1,000 if you want to cheap out. But in my opinion, if you make that amount of money, there are better countries that you can actually go to, which I'm going to show in a second. But let's say you're making 1.5, 2K per month at least, I would consider Thailand as a great place. If you like going to the beach, if you like tropical weather, because it's going to be sunny 24/7, essentially, it's going to be sunny all year round, 30 plus degrees Celsius, right? So it's going to be very warm. Now, the only problem with Thailand, which is, to be honest with you, the problem with majority of Southeast Asia, and I say this from the bottom of my heart because I love this country, is that the Thai people, just like the Southeast Asian people, they're not very smart, right? So you're gonna be surrounded with people that unfortunately are not super smart, even though they are some of the nicest people I met. They are so kind, always smiley, they're always there to help you. It's like having a child, you know, you cannot hate on a child because it doesn't understand what the fuck is going on. Same thing, you cannot hate on Thai people because they don't have the same mentality as a Westerner. And so you will see that if you live in Thailand, people over there, they have their own pace. They're a bit slow. They like to take their time, but that's probably also why they're happy, you know. And so if you're able to compromise with this, I would say Thailand is a great country. And again, I lived there for 1 year, but after 1 year, I felt like that place was a bit too small for me. I came to a point where I was making very good money and I was like, okay, I cannot live here anymore because there is no margin for growth, in my opinion. Even though I have quite a few friends that live in Bangkok and those places, they make a very good amount of money and they really like it. For me, Thailand was always more about beach and sun and scooter and stuff like that. So I was living in Koh Samui and Phuket, all those islands essentially, which was very, very nice. And so for this reason, I give Thailand a nice, I would say A tier. I think it's very solid. Actually, I would say B. I would say B for one specific reason. And the reason is that the lack of community. So if you go to Bali, for example, which is going to be the next country we're going to take, the community there is way better. It's way better than in Thailand. There is way more people, there's way more structure when it comes to the community. On the other hand, Thailand has better infrastructure. Food is definitely not as good as the one in Bali, but the infrastructure is better. The beach is way better, like the scenery, like everything is way better. So I would say Thailand is still a great country, probably B tier or like A minus if there was something like that. And yeah, if you're making at least $2,000 per month, Thailand should definitely be one of the countries that you want to go to. Now, next to that, we have Bali. Bali is like the little sister of Thailand in the sense that you will see that most people that make money online, when they go to Asia, they hop on one of those two countries. It's either Thailand or Bali. And they usually like pick one or another based on two different reasons. So if people like more going to the beach and have like a better just holiday type of vibe, then Thailand is your friend. Because the beach is way better, the scenery is way better, the infrastructure is better, Thailand is more organized than Bali for sure. However, if your goal is to connect with people that make good money online, very good money online, you want a very big community of people that work online, you maybe also are into yoga or like you love going to the gym, or you are into, you know, like the esoteric manifestation, all that kind of stuff, then Bali is your pick, because the amount of community that there is in Bali is nowhere near compared to Thailand. Like it's 10 times bigger here in Bali than in Thailand, okay? And so if your goal, which it should be at some point, because that was also one of my problems in Thailand, that I didn't find a lot of people to connect with. But if your goal should be to connect with individuals that also are making money online, and, you know, good money online as well, you know, and you want to go to the gym and you want to experience essentially the same freedom you can get in Thailand just with better people and better in terms of like connection, then Bali is your go-to. Now the catch with Bali, however, is that the infrastructure is absolutely shit compared to Thailand. It's way worse. And the food, no sorry, the beach like itself, when you go to the beach to swim, it's way worse compared to Thailand. Thailand is one of the best beaches I've ever seen in my whole life. However, the food is better than Thailand, because in Thailand, for example, they fry a lot of stuff, right? And so for this reason, I actually tend to prefer Bali slightly more, and that's why I put Bali in A tier. Now, when it comes to the money also that you need to make, it's very similar to Thailand. I would say if you make, I don't know why there is an arrow, but if you make about $2,000 per month online, Bali is a very good candidate. And so those two really, they come down to a personal preference. I would probably try to do both. Even because once you land in both Bali and Thailand, you get 60 days visa on arrival, meaning that you can stay inside the country for 60 days without visa, and then you can just take a flight and move to Thailand, for example, if you arrive to Bali, or you can go to Bali, for example, if you arrive in Thailand, and you can experience the other one. Even because they're very close to one another, they're like 4 hours with the plane. So if it's your first time, you're making about $2,000 per month online at least, I will definitely suggest to do 2 months here, 2 months here, and then decide which one was the best for you. But for me, I prefer Bali slightly more. Now, moving on, we have Poland, all right? So Poland, in my opinion, is probably my favorite European country. And for different reasons. First of all, it's extremely safe. Poland is the safest country in Europe. So if you're a kid from Europe like myself, I'm coming from Italy, Western Europe, then Poland is everything that there should be in a European country. It's like the perfect country that exists. Like if all of Europe would be like Poland, I will absolutely love this continent. I will just stay here. I will not even go to Asia. But unfortunately, it's not. But Poland has been the country that for the last 5-10 years has been growing the fastest in European Union in terms of like standard of living. I'm in Warsaw right now. The moment I'm recording this video, I can tell you like the city is incredible. It's extremely modern, extremely clean. It's super, super safe because Poland, unlike all the Western atmosphere that you can see right here, they take 0 immigrants, right? They say 0 migrants, as we say, actually. So no one without a visa or without a passport can go into Poland. Even to this very day, they are blocking essentially some borders with Germany and Lithuania to prevent further refugees, you know, the doctor and engineers to come. Polish food is great. Polish girls are absolutely amazing. I think if I'm going to find a wife, it's probably going to be here in Poland. And in Poland, you also have like many other Slavic people, like Ukrainian, Belarusian, you know, Lithuanian. And so Poland in sort of ways like the cosmopolitan of Eastern Europe. You can find a lot of Eastern European people all living in Poland because Poland is the biggest country in Eastern Europe. And in my opinion is definitely the best country that you can live in Europe, like no question asked. Girls are amazing, food is great, it's super safe. It's not that expensive compared to the Western Europe. You can live like same actually like to Bali and Thailand, like you could live technically with $2,000 per month. Now, you're not going to have the same lifestyle, obviously, but you could live with $2,000 per month. And if you want to have like a little bit better lifestyle, I would say $3,000 per month. In Poland, you can live very, very good, given the fact that the average salary here in Poland is $1.5K. if you're making 3K, which is double what the average person make, you can live a very good lifestyle here in Poland. And so for this reason, in my opinion, Poland goes to the S tier, because again, I love Europe. Unfortunately, west of Europe at this point is absolutely cooked, but Poland is what it should be. The only thing that maybe I don't like about Poland is the weather, but you know, who cares? Like, you can come here in summer and enjoy it, right? And it's not even too cold. Like, it might get -5 or something in winter, which is definitely cold compared to Asia, but you can stay here, for example, 6 months of the year. And when it's cold, when it's winter, you just can go to Bali or Thailand. Now, next country on the list, we go Dubai, all right? So Dubai is an interesting one because, yes, so many rich people go to Dubai. And yes, you can make so many good connections if you go to Dubai. However, Dubai is a plastic city. It's a fake city, right? It's just a bunch of sky races in the middle of the desert where all the rich people go because they pay zero taxes. So obviously it's great for that reason. And that's why you can find so many individuals, very wealthy individuals over there. However, the amount of greediness and the amount of materialism in that city, in my opinion, is really not worth like moving there. I see why people do that. Again, if your intent is to grow as much as possible, like economically speaking, you want to make as much money as possible, then Dubai is your city. Because you're gonna find so many wealthy individuals, you're gonna connect with so many people. The game over there is so like competitive that it's gonna push you to more and more and more and more and more and more. And so if your goal is to grow, then probably Dubai is the place to go, because you're definitely gonna grow there, or you're gonna come back home like empty-handed, like you're gonna lose everything, right? But again, I'm the type of person that likes more nature, like Bali and Thailand. I enjoy connecting with, like some individuals there that think like me in terms of like, I don't want to work, living for work. Like I want to work, make money, sure, but I also want to live. Like, working is not living. Working is a part of living, but it's not my whole being. But for some people, working is their whole being, is their whole life. And so Dubai can be the great place for them. Obviously, Dubai is very expensive. If you make less than $10,000 per month, I would probably not consider moving to Dubai, even though when you move to Dubai, you get 0% taxes. So, you could argue that even if you make 6 or 7K per month, moving there can be definitely a good move. However, for this reason, I will rank Dubai in the C tier, just because personally, I don't like it, because of all those reasons. However, I can see how this country, for someone that is money hungry, can easily become an A tier or S tier because of the amount of people you can know and the amount of wealth that there is in this country. Now, next we have Japan. And Japan is my favorite country, all right? And this is personal bias, obviously. But Japan is my favorite country in the world. The Japanese people are very introverted. That's something that unfortunately is dragging down the country in the tier list, is that no Japanese person speaks English. And they are quite racist towards like foreigners. But to be honest with you, I completely get it, because tourists, they go there, they're fucked up. So I would be a racist as well if I probably was a Japanese person. And they're very introverted, so they're not gonna speak to you. That's the problem with Japanese people. And Japan is 99% Japanese, meaning that it's gonna be very hard for you to connect with individuals that live there, like foreigners, and they actually move their business and stuff like that. However, there are a few. I have a good friend of mine that is a media buyer. He's making about 30K per month. He lives in Tokyo, Japan. He's been living there for 2 years. He absolutely loves it. So you can definitely find some interesting people. It's a very rich city as well. You have to remember, Tokyo is like the richest city the biggest city on the planet. It's one of the richest city on the planet, right? So Japan is one of the richest country in the world. It's, I think, top 3 or top 4 in the world after Germany, right? So Japan is definitely a great country. And if you like anime, like me, all that kind of stuff, absolutely amazing. I lived there for 6 months. It's definitely way cheaper compared to what it used to be 5 years ago, to the point that it's the same price as Poland. Like, I was shocked when I was there, but literally Poland and Japan, they literally share the same prices, right? So once again, if you make $3,000 per month, you can actually live in Japan a quite comfortable lifestyle. So for this reason, I would probably push Japan into the A tier, because even though it's my favorite country, I understand the limit of Japan. Meaning that, again, it's very hard to meet people there. It's very hard to blend with society. No one really speaks English, but the country itself is beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful countries I've been to. The food is great. The history of the country is great. Like, when you go there, it feels like going to Mars. It's so different compared to everything else. It's absolutely amazing. And if I have like a good amount of lads that I could go to, let's say I have like 3 or 4 guys that, they're also making money online, we all move together to Japan, I think Japan would be amazing. The many things, like the clubs in Japan, the people in Japan, the supercars, it's amazing. Honestly, Japan is one of a kind. You have to go visit it if you're in Asia. And again, if you make 3K per month, you can potentially even move there, especially if you like all this Japanese culture, anime stuff, I think this country might be amazing for you. Now, we have also Korea. And Korea, just like Thailand and Bali, Korea is the little sibling essentially in Japan. And Korea, I would say, is roughly the same price as Japan, perhaps a little bit cheaper. However, the good thing about Korea is that people tend to be way more extroverted. Korean people are way more extroverted. There are way more foreigners that live in Korea compared to Japan, especially American, for whatever reason. I'm not sure, but there are so many Americans that live there. The general English level, like I said, is higher. People are more extroverted. Food, I would say, is slightly worse. And the cost of living is like cheaper. And for this reason, I would probably put Korea in a B tier, just because I feel like Korea, instead of Japan, it's a bit more materialistic. And it's, even though, yes, you can meet like a lot of people that speak English and stuff like that, I feel like culturally wise, they're just like a little behind. And it was not just so wow for me. Like Korea, it looks like the American version of Japan. That's how I describe it. Like, if you're American and you don't want to go too far away from home in terms of like culture, then go to Korea, because Korea is going to be literally the Japanese American. That's what it feels like. Whereas Japan is Japan. It's like completely different on its own, right? But if you also value connecting with people, then probably Korea is better, because it's going to be easier to connect with people due to the amount of foreigners that live there and also the amount of Korean people that speak, English. Then we have Eastern Europe. And Eastern Europe, obviously, we also have Poland in Eastern Europe, but let's consider not Poland. I decided to pick Poland aside. So Eastern Europe as a whole, I think it goes straight into B tier, in my opinion, right? So why B tier, why not A tier? Well, it's because we have to face the reality of things, is that Eastern Europe, excluding Poland, is still a little bit behind in many things, right? Especially if you go to countries like Romania or like, those countries are beautiful, are super safe, the women there are amazing, they are very, very cheap. You can live there with like $2,000 per month, easy. However, the problem is that the country is a little bit left behind, like in terms of technology, in terms of service and stuff like that. So if you're the type of person that loves Europe, like you love the European lifestyle and you want safety, but at the same time you want a cheap country because you're not making a lot of money, where to live in, then countries like Slovakia or Czech Republic or Romania, Hungary, Moldova, they're amazing country where you can live to with like 1,500, 2,000 euros per month, being an extremely safe country, enjoy European culture, and just enjoy European vibes without compromising your budget. So for this reason, I would say like Eastern Europe, from my personal experience, goes B tier. And then lastly, we have Vietnam. Now, Vietnam is a particular one, because Vietnam is the same level, in my opinion, as Thailand in terms of like scenery, the beach and everything. But the thing that makes Vietnam even better than Thailand, probably, is the fact that it's half the price. Like, if you think that Thailand is cheap, Vietnam is so cheap. So cheap. Like, you can literally live there with less than $1,000 per month. Like, a nice lifestyle, okay? The same lifestyle that would cost you $2,000 per month in Thailand will cost you $1,000 per month in Vietnam. And you still have the beach, you still have like the city, like Da Nang, for example, which is similar to Miami or like Bangkok, those kind of vibes, right? You go Ho Chi Minh, for example. You go many places that in Vietnam are super good. Infrastructure is very nice. Like, the country itself is very modern, actually. It's quite surprisingly modern and organized, but it's so cheap. And so Vietnam is the type of country that I would suggest to people that, for example, want to move to Thailand, but they're not making enough money. If you're the type of person that just start working online and you make maybe like $1,000 per month, and you want to still experience the Southeast Asia vibes, or you just want to move to a cheaper country because then you can essentially lock in and don't spend as much money, Vietnam is your country. Vietnam is the country to go to save money or to scale your business, because the cost of living over there is going to be so cheap that literally, if you make $2,000 per month, you can just live on less than $1,000 and just stack on savings and just try essentially to save as much to scale your business while you're there. Because again, it's going to cost you so little to be there, right? And so for this reason, in my opinion, Vietnam goes to B tier alongside Thailand. So guys, this is the rank tier, the tier list based on my experience, 26 country, 25 years old. You might or might not like my tier. I don't give a fuck. Honestly, this is what I needed back then. If I would have got something like this back then when I started actually making money online, when I was making my first $2,000-$3,000 per month, I would have definitely love a tier list like this, because this gives you like clarity when it comes to where you should move and why you should move and what kind of budget you should have to move on those countries, all right? So this being said, I know this was a little bit of a different video, but I hope you guys enjoy it. And if you have any questions, just drop me like a comment or follow me on Instagram, and I'm gonna be right back to you. See ya, boys. Next one.